Oh, hold on a minute. Just let me get that off there. Hey, there you are. How you doing? Hola, boa noite. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club. Lovely to see you at 8 o'clock here in Portugal on a chilly night, actually. It's a bit fresh out there. We've got some sort of, somebody sent me a message. Is it an Arctic mass? A polar air mass. There you go. Got a polar air mass and can really feel it out and about earlier this afternoon. So glad to be indoors drinking some red wine with the GMP Wine Ninjas. First and foremost, Garbo and Linda. Happy birthday to you, Linda. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you. Nice to see you. To see you nice. In central Portugal. Bit chilly there.
Very chilly.
Got the fire on? Got the stove on?
Yeah, the nuclear reactor is on full rods at the moment.
And if I'm not mistaken, a fizzy white in front of you.
Got it. Right? We've did some. Well, on later on, we'll get the rest on.
Okay, but that's not what I was expecting, because when I was purchasing wine for less than €3, which is what it's all about tonight, I was seeing a lot of Ermelinda action, thinking, Garth will be straight all over that like a tramp on a sandwich. Not that I say things like that, because that's rude and offensive. But other people might. Yeah, I thought you might be up for the Ermelinda bargains.
To be honest, there's one at the end of the table there, just off camera, with its rival, which I was going to do, but I suddenly remembered I bought this, and it is almost Christmas. This is the Christmas program, I suppose. So I thought, let's put something in there.
You're right. We're celebrating Linda's birthday, and we are celebrating Christmas. This is our Christmas party, so I think we should get it started and bring on to the screen, loyal to a fault, Johnny Cocktail in the Algarve.
Hi, Johnny. How you doing?
Hello, everyone.
How are you? Are you in a passport photo booth?
Am I which one?
You look like you're in a passport. You know those passport photo booths with the choice buttons in the background.
I'm doing a pet sit at a friend's house. So this is.
Are you? How's that going?
Terrific. I got a great dog to care for and a nice setting.
Oh, very nice. Good for you. Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. Much appreciated. Whilst working, if your clients are watching, he will be drinking responsibly whilst taking care of the pet this evening. It's all part of the Portuguese culture. Excellent. Lovely. Maybe we'll get to see your four-legged friend before the night's out as well. Thank you for being here, Johnny. Any surprises for you when it comes to booze under €3 here in Portugal?
Well, I think my footer for this broadcast means there probably won't be any surprises.
Okay, good to know. All right, that might be the
for anyone who's been watching for more than a few episodes.
Yes, yeah, okay. And I'd love to include tonight, by way of a public service announcement, your Canella concerns, which is a nice alliteration. But you sent me some information about some of the quality of Canella, which I think is quite a useful thing to wedge into, to shoehorn into our wine special tonight, because it does come into cocktails, and of course it goes over a lot of the lovely food we have in here in Portugal. So just a quick mention of the Canella when we come back to you in just a moment. Before we do that, let's bring Pete and Di onto the screen. How you doing, Pete and Di?
Beautiful he is.
Mr. Saramanga, show us your third nipple, Pete.
I watched a brilliant thing on that the other day. I didn't know. I didn't realize
exactly.
Well, I didn't realize Christopher Lee was really proud of Scaramanga, right? Of being in a Bond movie, and he was quite ashamed of all the Hammer House of Horror stuff that he'd done, which is really sad. And it was one of the crappier Bond movies. I mean, like, I think all of the Roger Moore ones are terrible. Acting with your eyebrows is really bad. But it was like one of the damp squibs. So he never really had anything that he was particularly proud of. It was really quite sad. There's a really good, very good documentary. It's called The 1,000 Deaths of Christopher Lee. It's very
really
good.
Thank you. Very much.
I love that.
A little bit of face massage, yeah.
Well done there, Louisa. That's awesome.
Okay, thank you. Lower. Right. 99% of the wine I buy is under €3, says Lee McGrady. As much as that, thank you for that. As
I
much
knew
as
Lee
that,
would
Lee.
be here. I knew Lee would be here because we're talking cheap wine now, and
Yes.
cheap wine, but he buys stuff that's good. So you've got to give him his due.
Like a moth to a flame for the €3 and less special. Happy Christmas to you, Lee.
Well, I think it's going to be a real shock to lots of people, because when you go for a meal, for example, around here, you can get a half litre or a litre of wine, and your bill, it's like €1.50. It's just nuts. And I'd never seen or experienced that when I've been to a restaurant before. I remember paying 38 grand for 3 bottles of wine at Ramsay's. One.
Jesus.
How much?
38 grand. Yeah. So
one bottle of wine.
No, 3. We had 3 bottles of wine. The
meal, that's okay then. That's sorry. So you had
I'm on the bloody factory for that.
Oh, at least you got 3 bottles for that. Okay, fair
well,
enough.
I've got the palate of a heavy smoker, so to be honest, I really couldn't tell the difference between this and what we had that night. So to me, wine's wine. So I don't know. It does amaze me how much people spend on wine occasionally, and I think it's fabulous to celebrate stuff that we're more likely to drink. To be honest, let's be honest, we're more likely to pick up something cheap, and it's great as a gift for, as you said, it means a lot more. €3 is going to mean a lot more than €3 if you give someone a bottle of wine as
That's right. It represents a whole lot more value than the mere €3 or $2.99 or less that you might have paid for it. I bet Gordon Ramsay and his team were surprised as well that night. Did you get a Christmas card this year?
No, that was a business expense at my ex's legal firm. So I think maybe we got Christmas cards every year, but we didn't. So
okay, all right.
Yeah,
I'm not getting the call this year.
I'm not paying for that sort of lunch, I tell you.
No, fair enough.
Anywhere they don't show the prices is always a bad place to go to.
Yes, fair enough. There's some anonymity needed here. We'll just simply call you Eileen Cook so as not to give the game away, because you're working as well. Just don't tell my boss. I imagine Eileen might be self-employed, which could be a good twist to that story. Good evening, say Mike and Karen in Miranda de Corva. Thanks for those tram pictures as well earlier on. And as an American, I'm jealous of the price of wine in Portugal. Don't be, just come over. Come and join your fellow countrymen and women over here and come and join us and enjoy the same value. Not just value. It's not just cheap, is it? It's good value, as we'll discover this evening. It's not just about saving loads of money and it being a complete bargain. It's good wine as well, as we're sure to discover this evening, in the company as well of what is going on here. Michael and Kat as well with us in central Portugal. Oh, very nice.
Love the anglers. I think you've been outdone, Pete.
I think so, definitely.
I think he's been on the less than €3 wine already, looking at him this evening. You might need to unmute for us, if you don't mind there, Michael Whitby. Or Miguelinho, I do beg your pardon. Sound issues there, but okay, carry on with the gestures and we'll follow your interpretive dance moves and a fancy dress as well, by way of telling us what's going on with your selections this evening. Oh, and we love this 913-590-303 for photos coming in via WhatsApp. Now, there was a quick public service announcement that I wanted to include, and we can take this as a segment out of here this evening as well. No pressure, Johnny Cocktail. You had some concerns about canela, or cinnamon, as we call it, right? Canela in Portuguese. Cinnamon, which you'll see sprinkled all over pastel de natas and other things here, I think. Sometimes even the coffee. Johnny, what's going on with canela supplies coming into Portugal?
I'm not saying it was coming into Portugal. It was reported in a publication that comes in the United States. It's a consumer magazine.
Right.
And so I imagine what they tested were brands that were most commonly distributed in North America.
Okay.
But I just wanted to let all the drinks makers and the foodies, as I stated, know that a third of the brands that they tested exceeded the allowable. First of all, it's allowed, but the allowable amount of lead in the ground cinnamon.
Right. Okay. And with Portugal being a big consumer of cinnamon, there is that distinct possibility, is there not?
It very well could be. If it's being made in some places and distributed worldwide, just check your pantry. And if you see any of those labels, then discard it, please.
Okay, all right. And what are you looking for? I mean, they're not going to list lead as an ingredient, are they? How will we know it's been? How will we know it's been cut up with nastiness?
It just because it was tested.
Oh, okay, all right.
In a food testing lab.
But with the one we pull out of our pantry, what are we looking for? Should we just get rid of that anyway and go buy a decent one?
Well, in the post that I made, it referenced a publication, and that can be found online, that article at no charge to anybody. And then they list the 12 failed brands, and then they had the Midland brands, and they had the preferred brands.
Okay.
So I guess you would just want to check that article and see if any of those failed brands are in your pantry and replace them.
Okay, and I'll make sure the link to that it goes alongside the clip that we'll take from here.
I guess if you get out the pantry, right, and you pull it off the shelf, and it's like, oh, bloody hell, I can't hold this.
Don't drop it on your foot. It's the problem with powders. When you buy powders from strangers, you never know what's in there, do you, basically? So.
Just leave it as a stocking stuffer at a Christmas party.
Yes. And on the matter of making cocktails with cinnamon, with canela, what have you been making, Johnny Cocktail, of my cocktail mind?
Loads. It's too long a list. We're here to discuss something else, but there's always loads going out, including a few that will be posted, if not at the end of this week, beginning of next week. I had Frank over, and I had some go his way.
I see. Excellent. Okay.
Have you got the wine left?
Cinnamon compared to the UK, and I should imagine the US, it's so cheap here compared to both countries. They even give it away in service stations. You get little cinnamon sticks to drink your coffee through.
Yes.
They just leave out there. In the UK, it's massively expensive. So if you notice that they did a study on Radio 4 as well, where they found that herbs in general, they found like something like 40% of herbs weren't what they were purported to be.
No way.
Herbs, you have to be really careful. And we dry our own chilies and like all sorts of herbs, and there's a massive difference in between the taste. I think if they're not adulterated, quite often they're just bulked out with any kind of dust they can.
Vim. Mrs. M was glad of that. She was sniffing your Scotch bonnet the other day, Pete. That lovely preparation that you made. So it's lovely. It's good to know with the provenance of certain things, isn't it?
Well,
yeah, I think it's tricky.
I'm amazed. I'm stunned, really, that Pete still listens to Radio 4
all the time. I'm afraid it's all the first thing about having.
I tried the other day. I really did. I couldn't. It was early in the morning because that's what I remember is listening to the Today program on Radio 4 because I wanted to just check back in, and it's been a long time, and it's amazing, isn't it? The production quality, how they speak, what they speak about. It just took me right back to another time at another place. It's quite extraordinary.
Did you feel old and dirty? You know,
I was taken back to the days when I was a Guardian reading Earl Grey drink, organic Earl Grey drink with goat's milk, and I specialised in doing home improvements for the lesbian community in Sheffield.
Well,
And I would have Radio 4 on my wireless.
Not off,
Yes.
I found out something about Sheffield on Radio 4 the other day. Sheffield has the worst teeth in England. So you're more likely to, it's a claim to fame for Sheffield now. Now that Steele's gone, you're more likely to meet someone toothless in Sheffield than anywhere else.
You know what? That explains a lot. When I had perfect teeth when I went to live in Sheffield, and now thank you for that factoid, Peter. Right. Can we hear Miguelinho? And Kat might be there somewhere as well. So what's going on, Michael? Are you there?
Oh yeah, I am. I think the background noise was our fireplace has a heater in it, and a fan was going flat out. So.
Oh, I see. That's a good gizmo, isn't it?
Yeah.
To move the warm air around the room, presumably.
Oh God, it's amazing. The whole house is warm with it. The humidity in this place, the humidifier hasn't come on since we put the fire on a week ago. So it's amazing.
Wow, and very good strategically at Christmas time. If you eat too many sprouts, you can just flick that on and use that as cover. Very good.
Love the Christmas tree as well. Your Christmas tree's looking fab.
Yeah, looking very festive there as well. Hello all, says Paul. Hi, Paul. It's been a long time since we had a drink with you. Well, tell us what you're having tonight, Paul. Love that we are allowed a red nose with Christmas coming up. Is that related to the amount of red wine possibly, Paul, there, or a festive thing? Bondia from the OLP as well, who'll be looking forward to trying some of these wines we're talking about. And Eileen will be here in March. So, yeah, very possibly at work. It's maybe only, 10 o'clock or something like that in... no, it can't be that early, can it, in the United States? But anyway, Eileen, just put a spreadsheet up over the front of what you're doing, and it will be fine if anybody does walk past. Excellent. Right, where to begin then? Let's go back to Central Portugal and Alviagra. Linda, did you have a nice birthday?
To be honest, no, because I wasn't very well. I spent the day in bed. I got the flu.
No. Okay, hi,
yeah.
Kat. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so can we make up for that tonight in some way?
We could try, yeah.
Yeah, let's do our best then. I think you're only on one glass so far. We haven't reached the Linda Austin 2 or 3 glass threshold.
No, I'm not quite sure about this wine. It's a Vineyard Verde.
Yes.
So it's a bit sharp. It's not too bad. It's not very sparkly though, not like a...
No, it's not ultra fizzy.
Like it's supposed to be an Espumante, but
yeah,
it's not really that fizzy.
Let's have a look at the label then, if we may. Garvo, can you hold that up?
No, hang on. Can anybody tell me what that means? I know what it means, but...
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's rude. I like it.
Right.
Isn't Lixia garbage? No, that's Lixia.
Lixia.
Okay.
I thought that. I thought it was rubbish refuge, but it's not.
Nothing to do with cleaning right.
It comes out translating as sandpaper wine.
That sandpaper wine.
That sandpaper wine.
Not the best endorsement of their own particular product there. And it sounds to me, Linda, like it might be tasting a bit like that for you this evening.
No, it's not, because it's a Vineyard Verde. It's a bit sharper than I would probably like, but it's not too bad. Sort of. I have to say, I have drunk worse. I'm just being a bit careful because these kind of wines can give me indigestion. So
I know exactly what you mean. They can be somewhat acidic, can't they? Those, as much as I like them, and they go to your head quickly, don't they? They're very good value.
Yeah.
But they can cause a little bit of acid reflux as well. Garvo, what's your view on it?
I don't mind it. I'm surprised. I like you thought it was going to be battery acid, sparkling battery acid, basically.
Yeah.
But no, it's very light. Quite acceptable. I mean, what more do you want for under €3? A sparkling Vineyard Verde.
How much exactly? Was it $2.99 or even less?
Say again, sorry.
Was it $2.99 or was it even less than that?
It was definitely under 3. It's up there. I'll tell you in a second. I've got the receipt up there.
But you can't take it back now. Well, you actually
I don't like this.
No,
you probably can.
Because we bought 8 or so bottles of cheap wine.
Boy, we've done some research.
So we kept the price ticket just so we could say how much was this one then compared to that one. So,
very good. Very good. Okay, so I think we can go with interesting so far, certainly for you,
yes,
Linda. And we'll come back. It is getting a bit of a damning by faint praise, possibly there. Right, let's go to Johnny and find out what's going on in the Algarve. What did you find, Johnny?
I have 2 glasses ready to test.
Well, as my footer says, loyal to a fault, and
yes.
Again, you know what I like, and I'm not the only one on the team that cares for it so much that I'm actually going to propose that Garvo changes his name to Irma.
Yes.
Amber and Linda.
There we go. So I went down label on my favorite producer, Irma Linda, and I went to the Rosario label, and I hadn't been drawn to it before because I hadn't been seeking a price point, but I found this on sale for $2.99, and this is the Reserva on the Rosario label from Irma Linda. I hedged my bet. I got that one because I haven't opened this one yet, but I finished this one with dinner. So next I'll be opening just
the same one as yours.
the Tinto, yeah, that I obtained for €2.19 on sale, and from again, some of the other people chiming in have commented on the price of wine elsewhere, and I wouldn't have considered this to be even anything I would purchase based on where I was in the past. But these aren't. I'm not settling for this wine. I'm enjoying this wine. Right. It's very easy to drink, and it's what I would expect from that producer. So I give it a hearty endorsement, and the things that are up label, they deserve their place too at a nice dinner with family, with friends. But this is a great breakfast wine.
Yeah. Was it Gary that put you onto Ermelinda in the first place, and the wine club, or had you done your own?
No, I had one of their bottles at a nice restaurant in town, and then I found it in the grocery store, and I've been a fan ever since.
Very good. Okay, so I've changed the name as you've suggested there, Ermelinda.
Ermelinda.
Yes, I think Garvo does deserve an invite from the estate to go visit after all the work he's done over the last couple of years to promote Ermelinda.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not asking for any compensation, any endorsement deal, but maybe next time I'm trying to get, just a foot in the door so I can get in for one of their tastings. Maybe that'll give me a little bit of an inside track, because last time I wanted to go there for my birthday in July, and I think I contacted them in March, and there was nothing available.
What, fully booked?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. Ermelinda. You went to Ermelinda.
Yes. And I was just in the area. I was in Seychelles last week through the weekend, and just a hop, skip, and a jump from Stubble. So maybe I'll have a chance in the future.
We do need to get a bit more canny. Go on, Linda. Sorry.
We went earlier in the year for a tasting for Gary's birthday to Ermelinda. Yeah. It's well worth it if you can do it.
Oh, the barrel room is just it's exuberant. It's just a beautiful place to be, because all the smell of the wine and the wood and it's just, if you could buy it exactly if you'd have it, and you'd just be like.
I just want to move in. I want to move in and have my mail sent there. I can't wait.
You can sometimes. I mean, we had trouble booking, didn't we? But when we got there, if you've got enough people to make, is it minimum 4 people?
Yeah, I think it was 4.
We didn't really have any trouble. So if you've got to really have at least 4 of you to do it, and you have
we have 4 here.
Yeah.
We have 4 people here.
I'll meet you there. I think that was part of the problem. It was just I wanted to go with just Kim and I just for a birthday weekend, and they couldn't pull it off with just the 2 of us.
Maybe you need to change your birthday.
Maybe I need to invite some friends.
There you go.
Maybe you need to have more than one birthday. You can be like the Queen, Johnny. Have a couple of birthdays through the year. I think is always a good idea. Definitely, at least
Queen 2. Johnny has a lovely ring to it as well. Is that what we're talking about? Or are there a number of venues to choose from?
No, that's the one. We went through that into wine heaven and met the wine god.
We've got a bottle of them as well. They're really good. They're good, cheap wines. I think they're excellent.
Yeah, very good value. And the relationship between Ermelinda and the Rosario, is it called? Is that their kind of niche brand, or what?
No, it's just again they have different price points. They have different productions, but this is on their website.
Yeah.
If you go to the Ermelinda website, the Rosario is a down label wine, and it's just delicious.
And you picked that up, a Reserva for $2.99, did you say? Exactly.
Correct. Yep.
Wow, that's great.
I think the Rosario is especially made for Lidl, because they have little brand names for particular supermarkets. And Rosario, I think, is sold at Lidl, and that they have like different names for different supermarkets and stuff. But I mean, come on, it's a mass-produced wine. I wouldn't say it's absolutely remarkable, but it's consistently good.
What do you want? Yeah, what do you want for $2.99? I've just figured out before we go to you, Pete. And, Don Freitas, that's another one of those, isn't it?
That's another one of those. Yeah, there's loads of them, and they're pretty good. They're blended, but they're pretty nice wines, to be honest. I think they're pretty excellent, to be honest, for the price. They're not my favourite under €3, but they're still pretty good.
Yeah, fair play. And for 38 grand for 3 bottles, that's about 12,000. Hold on, because I was quite taken by this. 12,666 per bottle. That's pounds. So I guess we have to do a little bit more of a conversion here. But that would be.
You're talking about. But that's at Ramsey's, so everything's going to be hiked up, and
for that money, Pete, you can get over 4,000 2.99 bottles. 4,000
or a year's worth.
Yeah. There's a worrying aspect of it, which is to buy a bottle. If you're going to produce your own harvest, which lots of people we know around us do, to buy a bottle, you're talking about €1, maybe €2, and therefore for you to even compete with anyone like this is really difficult, especially when they're producing excellent wines. Really, I think that. I mean, I know Gary's saying they're not the best of the best, but they're still pretty good for the price. They're definitely excellent, I think. So
you're saying an empty bottle and a cork is going to be €1 or more on its own without any of the growing or bottling?
All of the other issues that you have to go through. So it is a bit of a problem and if you go to a cafe or go for a Prato de Dia, your wine is not going to cost you much more than €1.50 a litre. So it's a difficult one to compete against.
It's a beautiful part of the culture, that the table wine, the excellent quality table wine. Right, Casa Bleach, what you got?
We have got, even though I've used it as an ashtray, which is disgusting, we have got a Alentejo, which I love, Alentejo Reserva Aquiva, and it's quite strong actually. It's 14%, so it's fairly strong. But it's lovely. I love Alentejo wines anyway, and the reds are amazing. We had a Fado night the other day, and someone was complaining they didn't have any white wine there, which I must admit, I'm not a massive fan of whites in general now. I used to be in England because the reds were terrible. But the reds here, especially under €3, are just amazing. They're really good. I'd just be on Frascati if I was in England all the time. So they're awesome. There's some really good wines, and there's some good whites as well. We found a whole load of whites under €3, as you said. But I found Gary. He's just about to leave. But Gary, I was going to say we found a whole load of rosés and reds, Vina Verdes, that were really cheap and actually really good as well. I thought they were excellent. But for me, to get an Alentejo Reserva for what was it, $2.29?
What?
Awesome. But that is the difference. We've got a big Arshen, and they tend to stock a lot more.
Big what?
And from this angle, it looks perfectly normal.
That's right. What you do with it that counts, Pete.
But they're really good for picking up cheap wines. Lidl, not as good because there's just less choice. You've only got like 3 or 4. With that place, you can tell if it's a good discount because the shelf's empty. So if it's all gone.
Wine selection.
Yeah, they have a huge wine selection, and you can get some really nice stuff. I mean,
but of course, if price is your ultimate goal, you've got the box wines, haven't you? But that's dangerous, isn't it? As we all know, because it sits in the kitchen. You have just have a little more, another glass, and it's just a little bit.
You don't realise how much is there.
But that's
kitchen. Mine sits on my nightstand.
What a bathroom! There's one in every room, isn't there, Julie? Just in case.
It's just a walk by filling. Yes.
walk by wines. Gary, hold on a minute. No, only kidding. Paul says it's a lovely Dao Branco 2023 by Miguel Oliveira, which Pingo Dos had a clear out of stock at, believe me, a real bargain at 164. I don't doubt it. And that's a percentage mark down there. And you've got a great bottle of wine by the sound of it. Dao, we've always thought the Daos are a bit risky, but when you get a good one, you get an awesome one. I think it's a bit polar, isn't it, in that way? That's worth writing down, everybody, in case you do see that. However, like you say, Pete, once they're gone, they're gone. And there's a rush on these, and that's it, isn't it? Once word's got round town, they do run out, don't they, of these.
Well, what I find reassuring, Carl, is Douro have got the best reputation, and this I got a Reserva Douro for this one was €2.12, and that's what I think is probably about the right pricing for a Douro, to be honest. So
that goes down lovely with your bacalhau, your favourite, doesn't it? And before anyone thinks these guys are just buying anything under €3, we do have to underline the fact that we're enjoying all of these, notwithstanding the possible jury still being out on the Vinha Verde in the middle of your screen. But still, I mean, you're not disappointed with that by the sound of it, and it's still representing very good value and a lovely wine to maybe have on arrival at somebody's house as a little bit of a appetizing, party starting sort of brew.
If you have this on arrival, I don't think you'd be doing much afterwards, to be honest. At 14%, it's quite cool. Well, actually, Linda, we were going to invite you to this. We're doing a pig roast. One of my mates has his own pigs. We're doing a pig roast this weekend. So if you want to re-celebrate your birthday, lovely. Come over and have a pig that will be roasting for about 9 hours. It's the best food I've had before.
The crackling and some of this lovely red wine as well. That sounds amazing. Other people are putting themselves forward. You can't make it, Linda. There are others who might like to take your place. Right, brilliant. Have you got something else there, Gary, before we go to
I was just going to take you back many, many, many moons, right?
Yeah, go on.
And I think probably one of the nicest duros for this price bracket.
Villarreal. Villarreal, yeah.
Villarreal's wines are excellent.
Yeah, I mean, so they're always good. They're always just a nice wine to have. I mean, if you had that as a table wine in any restaurant, you'd drink it. You wouldn't bat an eye. You think that was quite nice.
And that's Lidl as well, isn't it? I've seen that in Lidl before now.
That's all over. I've seen this.
That is actually more expensive. That one.
That's it's not over £3. That one. You're thinking the Reserva.
Okay.
This is £2.99, I think. But
Is
I haven't
it
seen
another £2.99?
Gary, in England, that would be 20 quid easily.
Yeah,
absolutely no.
And if you're a regular shopper at Lidl's, you'll find this for £1.49.
Festa. Okay.
£1.49, right?
You like that?
I tried it. As you can see, the bottle's empty. We
Definitely tried that one.
Expecting it to be awful, to be honest, and it was okay. It was good. It was just a good, nice wine to have at the meal.
I like the illustration as well. Over in Miranda de Corvo this evening, Vinha Verde. This is the Portal do Minho, a Loureiro grape in there, $1.69. Normally only $1.99 anyway. It's hardly worth reducing it, right?
What are they going to replace it with?
Yeah, I'm not buying that. I'm going to wait till it comes down. Right, there we go. Go. Right. Portal do Minho, Loureiro grape is being enjoyed by the Bartons in Miranda de Corvo.
You struggle to get a bottle and a cork for that much money. That's what's
No, it's ridiculous.
No.
And label and delivery. Yeah.
How is that, Mike and Karen? Let us know if you're enjoying it, because we don't want this to be like, these are all under £3. Isn't that great? They taste good as well. That's the point that's being made tonight, as I'm sure you will underline and highlight in the Whitby household. Miguelinho and Kat, good evening to you. You're looking very festive. What have you got this evening?
Well, we did a lot of research for this one. We actually started off. We were going to, we were at the smelly cheese event. Well, a Continent was there, and they had somebody showing off the Contemporal, their own labeled wines, and they had a really nice Biologic wine from the Douro, and it was just excellent. And we thought, well, we're going to bring that, because I found it it ended up being $3.99. So Captain said, it's supposed to be $2.99. I said, oh, okay. But it was a great wine. So it made me start looking at the other Continent or
Supermarket chain.
No, the Contemporal wines.
Yes.
And we tasted them. They were okay, but nothing blindingly good. And the other day, we were in Pingo Doce for something. It's just Pingo Doce, isn't it?
Pingo Doce.
And
Pingo
I
Doce.
saw this wine, and it's another Dow, because we know how much you all love Dows.
With the Pingo signature on it.
Yes, it does.
And it's the same vintner.
And it's a Reserva.
It's a Reserva. And the beauty of 2021.
Which really is required for Dows, we think.
You know what I've been saying for a long time, everybody gets their wine out after a year old because they've got no room to store it. So this may have been stored somewhere else because it tastes like it's a 3-year-old wine too. This is excellent.
Inky black.
Yeah,
Very nice. Hold on, let me just give you the camera again. Hold that up for a skin cat.
Inky black.
Beautiful in front of the Christmas tree. Isn't that great? So there we go. Is that what's that? A squirrel on the label there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a squirrel.
It's a squirrel.
Squidgel.
A nice label, definitely.
And
Yeah,
so then it was my job today to go and pick up some more of this. And Michael said, grab a half a dozen, and another one he wanted.
Oh, we liked it so much.
Because this one was $2.99.
Yeah.
Right. And so I went to the Pingo Doce, which isn't the place we normally shop. We don't have one handy, but I went in specifically to get this, and I got in their section. They had at least 10 different wines, most of them under €3. Well, there was one or two with Pingo Doce wine, all different kinds of things, including some whites. I did buy one white, but I don't know when we're going to try that.
The same white that you just had that somebody posted they got for $1.69.
Yeah.
That's the one Catherine got.
Yeah.
She
And
bought
there's
one.
Alentejo wines, there's Douro wines, there's Dow wines. I mean, it is remarkable. The Pingo Doce brand is remarkable. Now, we've only tried 2 of them so far. Both of them were good. One of them was really considerably better than the other, and that's the Dow Reserva. And so I got the last 6 bottles at our Pingo Doce, but
this is one of those that we had the other night. Actually, when we bought the first one.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's a 2020
single variety then on that one.
Yeah, that one is. That one
is.
Yeah,
is as good a Touriga Nacional that you'll get anywhere. Yeah, I'm serious. This was a really good bottle of wine. I mean, this Touriga Nacional is the Cabernet of Portugal. And this stands up well, really does. And it's $2.99.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
And then so many great labels tonight to see. And
then this last one that we've got.
You really did do some research.
It's easy
more to be done.
This, though, I can tell you wasn't $2.99.
This is over the budget.
This is way over. This is $5.49 regular
Disgusting. $5.49. That's outrageous.
No, but
when you want to celebrate, when you want to make a big splash,
it's got Touriga Nacional.
Please don't drink this too fast. It's $5.49. All right.
Touriga Nacional, Touriga Franca, and Touriga.
I see what they did there. It's the 3 Tourigas, isn't it?
Yes,
and they're expecting there to be a band of the same name. The Tres Tourigas.
Yeah,
would be a good name for a band, wouldn't it?
So this is the Dow, the first one we showed you, the Reserva, and it's got an incredible fruity nose. I mean, this is full dark berry fruits.
Yeah,
just an amazing nose.
And they're ripe fruits too. They're not just the young fruits. You got some real cherries in there.
Beautiful, beautiful. Sounds great. Question: who would like to answer this question? Not that I don't know, but where is while we're with you, the Whitbys? Where is the Dow? Where would you place that DOC?
Well, it's the area around the Dow River, which is inland and inland from Coimbra, basically, right?
Yeah.
Well, it includes as well, of course, doesn't it? The wonderful house where we made the video with Hugh.
Yeah.
That's the Dow. Visio is the county capital, isn't it? The capital, Visio. So that's what you're looking for there. And if you want to buy your own vineyard, 1.5 million will get you a Dow vineyard.
Yeah.
Yes.
You and James.
And 3 rivers.
Amir, and 3 rivers. That's right. 3 rivers.
Yes, absolutely. So 3 Tourigas, 3 rivers. It's all going on in the Dow. Thank you very much for your really the sterling and hard work you've put into this particular assignment.
We worked really hard.
You must be exhausted.
Yeah.
So, distinct.
Take a week
Go on,
off.
Johnny.
Carl, are all of these wines maybe going to be posted in show notes? Because I know Lee McGrady is making a Christmas shopping list.
He won't even be awake now, but yeah, for his benefit, we probably should do that.
If I know Lee, he's probably working through him at this very moment.
He's watching it in the supermarket and grabbing them off. It's possible.
He'd be running down the aisle like this.
I think it would be
with a corkscrew.
Steptoe and Son comes to mind. Now, if you could all send me your pictures of the labels, that would be great. Or actually, even better still, if you could send me the text, I'll just cut and paste this into the show notes.
Yeah.
And then we'll make sure, Johnny, good suggestion. Agree with Miguelinho and Kat about Pingo Doce choice of wines, especially the Dow Reserva. So whilst we're talking about supermarkets, now I didn't realize Contemporale was Continent's own brand, and they all must have one, right? So which is, let's do a quick straw poll. Favorite supermarkets. Which is your favorite chain? The Austins?
Oh God, that's an awful question. That is
for wine. Are we talking about for wine?
No, generally, just your favorite supermarket.
Generally,
for range of selection, probably Continent, but for just general everyday, Lidl.
Okay, Lidl's. The Austins. Thank you very much, Johnny Cocktail. Your favorite supermarket chain?
I agree. For wine buying, it is Continent because they have the largest selection and they give you the opportunity to never have to pay. You always get 60 to 70% off. And there's always a large selection of wines at those discount levels.
Right. Okay.
It's the furthest one from me, but I'll ride my bike and fill my saddlebags and my backpack with wines from Continent.
What a wonderful image that is. Can you get someone to take a picture next time you do that?
I think we should get Johnny a wine bandolier.
It's a little bit of a wobbly ride, so it'll be hard to take a picture.
I think you need a GNR. You know, if the GNR find out about it, they'll give you an escort home, won't they? With blue flashing lights, like really precious cargo.
Oh, the GNR are great though. They're never worried about you being pissed. They always ask, have you got drugs or guns? And that's it, really. It doesn't matter how drunk you are. And I've seen some very drunk people being stopped and just let go perfectly.
Seriously. You know, I got breathalyzed the other day. I got
yeah, I know you got breathalyzed, but Carl, you look like a troublemaker. Whereas around our way, everyone knows the police anyway. They know there's only the police station here has had what? It's had no crimes in the last 9 years, which I think is
what?
Right. It's also
you know, in the UK, they'd be thinking, we're going to get shut down. We're going to get shut down. We make some crimes because otherwise we're all going to get.
They tried to shut down the local police station and they've kept it afloat. But the guy one of the main guys in the police is a beekeeper, and the police station is just full of Asiatic wasp warnings. So he obviously spends the whole time trying to get rid of Asiatic.
I've heard about him, the beekeeping policeman.
He's fab. He's lovely, and
I've heard he's very good in a sting operation. You're very welcome. Right. So how of those that you showed us? I'm confused now, Pete and Diane. Which one were you drinking? And how?
We're drinking an Alentejo Reserva, which I think is awesome. I have to say, You were talking about the supermarkets earlier.
Yes, which is your favourite? That's right.
Arshen is definitely our favourite for better quality stuff, and also for foreign foods. It's amazing.
Yes,
I mean, for example, like biscuits. Arshen's a French brand, and because of that, they have amazing French biscuits and amazing if you want steaks or you want something a little bit different to show off.
Done the whole place up, haven't they?
Yeah, they're incredible. They're really good. But I still don't understand supermarkets over here at all, because we have like all the major chains all together in both Castelo Branco and Fundão, and none of them I've ever seen with more than like 20 people in them. So I've got no idea how they function. I think they're like flagship stores.
I think Lidl is the busiest.
Yeah, because there's just no one in any of the supermarkets at all. So it's lovely. I used to shop in England. I used to shop at like 3 a.m. because I thought no one would be there. It's like that every minute of the day, even at the rush at like 6, 7 o'clock. There's no one in any of our supermarkets.
Amazing, isn't it?
So
terrible for cruising and dating, but easy for shopping. Very good.
Oh, it's awesome. No,
that bottle of wine is $20 in America, or at least in the state of Florida. I'm not sure which one you mean there, Eileen, but I'm sure that's not unusual for any of that we've shown tonight. You're talking about 10 times, a good 6 times the price, aren't you there? So thank you for that, Eileen. Thanks for joining us today. Much appreciate your company. Whitby's, which is your favourite? What have you got in Figueiras de Vinhos?
We don't have a Continent. We have Intermarché and Mini Preço.
Oh, Mini Preço. Yes, okay. very interesting range of supermarkets. And the great thing about them is you get to go to them all eventually, don't you? It's not the same sort of thing as you might have in the United States or the UK, where you become loyal to one place.
Yes.
Portuguese people go to different supermarkets with different things, don't they? And you get to experience the whole range, which is very interesting. And the mini Presto Intermarché end tends to be a little bit Eastern European, doesn't it? It can be a little bit, well, not the most luxurious of setups.
The Intermarché does have an end of aisle, complete British thing like Branston pickles and things like that. Stuff you don't get in a normal supermarket.
You got a Chinese end wall.
And then they have an Asian end wall. And I think there's a other foreign end wall that has some Mexican and a few other things in there.
Yeah.
But they all, and that's in a not a very big Intermarché. And they do have a good bakery. They make their own croissant. And it's I think Intermarché is a French brand, or was at one point.
Yeah,
Intermarché cafes are the best. I think they're really good for us. Here, they're really good.
They've just opened up a brand new one in Arshen in Castelo Branco.
But Intermarché's, the cafe is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good.
Intermarché, the one that have got the Halfords type motoring thing as well. Is that which one is that?
Yeah, I think so.
They do sell all that as well. Yeah.
Because
they do.
It's like a school or a works canteen, isn't it? The Intermarché cafe.
They do a croissant mister and a coffee for €1.40, which is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And they do all sorts of other lovely little snacks. I think it's really good, to be honest.
Pete's Guide to Eating Well Cheaply in Portugal will be coming out as a special coffee table edition.
The supermarkets are great for a lunch, though. They're really good.
He also dresses for less.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to do a couture special with Peter as well.
I've got a far more shocking outfit than that Di won't let me wear. So
it's a Christmas party, Di. Can he not go and put it on now?
She's just too embarrassed for me to wear it. But
I wouldn't go out them the other day.
I'll wear it in the after show, so you can see how bad it is.
Okay.
When you slip into something more comfortable, right? This is from my Intermarché. Now, as supermarket chains go, it's not my favorite, but it's my local, and it's like everything here. It's not so much the brand. You know, like when people say which is the best bank, it's not the best bank or brand. It's the best branch, isn't it? So when it's people and branches that matter. And, you know, because it's my local one, I'm in there a lot and I've got to know everybody and they're a great crowd. And this was in there. I was spoiled for choice. Intermarché also has its own fantastic signature own wines that they get bottled. And they're superb value. They're very good quality from all the districts of Portugal. The Bairrada wines are particularly good at Intermarché. This one was $5.99, marked down to $2.99. An Alentejo Red, Porto de la Vesta, one that you'll see in restaurants as well. It looks good, I think, in an illuminated cabinet in a restaurant, and very delicious it is too. And it's a Reserva Alentejo there. Very enjoyable.
Alentejo, I think, are really underestimated as a red wine. I think they're fantastic wines.
Yeah, can't shake a stick at this. Wouldn't want to. It's really delicious. It was wonderful straight out of the bottle. Little taste, first drop, and has remained superb as well. Which I'm hoping to enjoy with a bit of this Flor de Val. This is my local dairy. And the other thing about some of the supermarkets is you can get fresh milk, can't you? You can get non-UHT milk.
Intermarché has fresh milk.
Until 11 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, very good. So there you go. That's my local dairy where you can go and see that you can wander around this dairy and see the cattle on automatic milking machines. You can buy their cheese, you can buy their milk. And I'm looking forward to trying their buttery cheese.
Well, the dairy 5 miles away from us has just won the best cheese in the world award.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So it's not very far at all.
Have you tried it, Pete? Did you try it?
Yeah, God, yeah. We've got what we've got, which was quite funny, is we've on something I want to invite all of you to. We'll definitely have to do it sometime this coming year. Is we've got a cheese making house, so you can go along and make your own cheese, and we've got exactly that cheese, but it's wooden. So I was looking at it the other day. They don't want anyone stealing it, but we've got a wooden representation of that. But you can make amazing cheese here.
You can hire it out.
We can hire it out for the day for €60 with the person to help you make the cheese.
Yeah.
So,
great.
But if we get a group of us in there, it's going to cost you less than like €10 to make.
We'll go. I used to make cheese, so I like cheese. I like cheese making. Awesome. There was a question, Carl, about Alentejo being, is it the hottest?
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
And it is.
And it is.
Yeah. Yes,
especially in the south near Beja and Vidigaira area.
Did you want to add to that, Johnny? Is that what you were pointing at there?
No, what I was pointing at is that's what I'm going to do for my birthdays. I'm going to come to you and do the cheese making and wine drinking, and that's where I'll have my mail sent. Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
Yeah,
Lots of
blessed
space.
cheesemaker. When I was a massage therapist years ago, I was massaging the hands of a lady who had made cheese as a younger woman, and her hand. You like people's hands generally tell the story of their life, don't they? And some more than others. Some of us have got very soft, beautiful hands that have done very little. And some, like this lady, she had cheesemaker's hands, and she had beautiful hands, and they were slightly, I don't know if you would say arthritic, but they showed a lifetime of work. And she was saying, you know, my hands were in muslin and liquid for a lot of my working life. So that would have obviously shown in her hands, and it was like a real honor and privilege to massage her hands that had made cheese for thousands of people, presumably, as well in her working career in the southwest of England.
And they probably also smelled good.
I was taught as a massage therapist never to smell the hands of your clients. It's part of the bedside manner that doesn't go down, especially.
It's a career limiting move.
Look over there. You go, yes.
When somebody gets your hand starts going.
Well, you could smell your own hands, couldn't you? If you've been making cheese all your life, for happy memories, I guess, as you sit of an evening, maybe as the weather warms up, maybe it becomes more of an aromatherapy sort of experience. Right. In the last few minutes of the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club, let's go to each of our households. You've done a great job, all of you. Clearly, we've demonstrated. I don't know whose idea was this. It was a great idea to show that we can get fantastic wines for €3 or less. What's going on in the Austin household? High five.
If you give me full screen, right? You might never notice with me, right? I have got quite small hands now. This is Linda's hand by the side of mine, yeah.
Yeah.
So not much in that, right?
No, right.
And you and I share a history of like massage, aromatherapy, etc. But I always thought I'd got kind of like surgeon gynecological hands. I used to be able to wallpaper the hall through the letterbox. So
hey. Right. You know what they say. Okay, well, we'll start with you, Austin household. You found some crackers there. Please re-familiarize us with your lineup of wines for 3 or less. And also a little bit about next year. We're going into the new year. What wine adventures would you like to see for 2025? So show us some wines first.
Right. This was the one we started with, the Fizz. I liked it. Linda, not so much.
Okay.
Nothing to do with sandpaper. Perfectly nice, drinkable wine for me. You don't particularly like Vineyard Verde that much anyway.
No.
Okay. Glad to see the back of that one then, Linda. And on to the red.
This one we've just opened up. And this is again in the price zone.
I'm not keen on that one.
Oh no!
Oh
no!
Too thin.
Too thin.
Thin, not full bodied in the way you like from the Melinda.
I think that's quite
and full-handed.
That's all right. Doesn't like that. I mean,
full-bodied and full-handed.
I'm going to shut up now.
All right. Okay. So not the best of evenings.
Get on to another bottle, I think.
Right.
Yeah, we've had some decent wines for under €3.
Would you agree, Linda? I mean, that's not to say you haven't tried great wines for under €3, right? Just not.
Sorry, Carl, what did you say?
That's not to say you haven't enjoyed wines for less than €3.
Oh gosh, yeah, we've had some really nice wines for $2.99.
This one,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but just not the best show tonight. Okay, 2025. What wine adventures can we look forward to?
I think more port in Porto.
Lovely.
Maybe a trip down to Alentejo region.
Yeah.
Maybe pop in and see our mate Neil.
Go to the Algarve.
John, we're going to have... Actually, John, what we should do, we should have revisit Ermelinda again, because I don't mind going there again, because it's just, for me, it's like Mecca.
We'd be up for that, definitely.
Well, bingo.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the bingo. Right, okay. Fair enough. Okay, port and back to Ermelinda and head towards the Alentejo. Pick Johnny up, take him over to Mr. Perkins, who we haven't seen enough of. So maybe that's another aspiration for next year. We'll get Perky Perkins back on. over this. And some of the old wine club veterans, we need to bring them back for 2025. If they can promise to not talk about politics, it's going to be fine, isn't it? Right. Yeah. Thank you, the Austins, and thank you for your excellent service this year. Been lovely to see you, and thank you for being here. We moved things around a little bit just to make sure you could be with us. So thank you for being in these last couple of months, because things have been a bit challenging for you, and it's been fantastic to see you here at the Wine Club. Strangely enough, it's our sort of touchstone for a little bit of sanity, isn't it?
I just think it's our anchor, the thing that just grounds us back down again and just holds us there for a while.
Yeah, the conviviality and camaraderie of drinking wine together once a month. Fantastic. Johnny, a newcomer. I think you joined us this year, didn't you, with the Wine Club? How's it been in this year for you?
I am living a charmed life, and you all are part of it. So thanks for that. I appreciate all the counsel that you've given me, and the future adventures that we'll share.
Fantastic. Anything in particular for 2025? It looks like you're on a promise for Melinda.
Well, what I'm committing to do now is every month, except for the month of the quarter when I leave the country, I am going to explore a different area of Portugal. Mm-hmm. I'm going to leave the Algarve. I'm going to go little 2-3 day trips to the Alentejo, to Setúbal, Lisboa. I'm going to be heading up to Carl, wrapping around your area and getting up to Porto. So,
yes.
Viagra,
get up there.
I want to see all y'all in your own house, and our paths will cross. And another path that may cross you up, open the door, counselor, because I'm typically the only person besides our host that's sitting here as a single. So what I want to propose is to move it over here. And Carl, because you mentioned some of the old timers, what if right there?
Yes.
I put Frank.
Oh, yes. I don't know why, but the Muppet Show suddenly comes to mind. But yes, definitely.
We best get some more wine in then. Hang on.
Oh, that'll be brilliant. So when he does, when he does fall asleep, you'll be able to carry on holding the baton of broadcasting whilst he has a little on-screen rest.
Yes, I will.
Very good. No, that'll be a fantastic idea. So here's to that. Yeah, cheers to that.
Cheers back.
Very good. Yeah, love to Frank. Very good.
He happens to be in Austria right now.
Yes, that's right. He's having his schnitzel attended to, I believe, as we speak.
He sends me pictures of his schnitzel.
Does he really?
Yes.
My goodness. Oh, I'm a bit jealous.
Didn't work then.
Doesn't send me those. Right, okay. Our local Intermarché is great. Staff are like friends. It gets like that, doesn't it? Happy holidays all. Look forward to joining you next year. So please do, Michael. You and Cheryl on the screen. That would be wonderful to see you both. And great to see Cheryl's new single that was released on Bandcamp last Friday. Ron, your neighbour as well, Ron Rogers. New music coming out of the very talented foreigners and expats who are in Porto. And looking forward to seeing you here in the Bay as well. And you, Johnny. If I hope to see you in February for that Good Times party that we're doing, and we want to do that on a regular basis. We're going to have karaoke, dancing, Chinese Terry leading the way on the dance floor. It's going to be great fun. I'm really looking forward to that for 2025. Is some of those parties where we can drink some of these bottles as well at our party. So thanks, Johnny. Anything else from you, or should we hand over to the Casa Bleach?
Let's go
down. Casa Bleach. Okay.
All right. Well, I have to say, Wine Club has been brilliant for us. We've really loved all the time that we've been in it. It was a bit heavy when we were doing it once a week. We were getting quite wasted, to be honest. So I say it was interesting when we were doing it once a week, but it was still lots of fun. It was really good.
That was incredible, wasn't it? Once a week.
No, it was great. But what's been lovely most of all is I was firmly in that the best wines are all kind of all from people you know, and I'd still say that quite a lot of the best wines that we drink are still from will never hit a supermarket shelf or you'll never see. But saying that, I still think you can get amazing wines for under €3. Absolutely incredible ones that you would never sniff at if you were served them in for a meal. And I think it kind of opens you up to a whole load of, well, it opens up both a whole load of issues in terms of how viable wine producing is nowadays. I think it's really tricky for anyone that has a big vineyard, to be honest, especially with the differences in temperature that we've had recently, which have made it really difficult to grow wines. But also, it's just lovely to celebrate brilliant local products. I mean, obviously, I'm going to say our olive oil is like the best that we've had. This year's is better than the ones that I've given both you, Carl, and you, Linda and Gary. So this year's you'll have to come along. And for next year, I'd love to have you all over here to do a wine club up here. I can accommodate all of you, and we've got amazing wines. And obviously, our olive oil, we'll have to do a tasting. See if you agree with us that this year's is better than the last.
I've kind of laid it down. I'm still on with Jason's because I buy a supermarket one for the cooking, and then every now and then you gotta save those goodies from friends from their own farms. I think for dressing or like a raw drizzle. Doesn't like a raw drizzle. So I'm looking forward to that. That's a great suggestion, a lovely invitation. Thank you, Pete and Diane. Could you quickly flash the goodies that you had tonight as well? So
we've been on completely on this one, which I think is lovely actually. So this
really nice.
is really fruity. It's a reserva from Gordia. Alentejo, and I love Alentejo wines. I've never been disappointed by an Alentejo so far. We're going to go on to probably Gary's favourite, the Dom Freitas, the Ermelinda, which I think is great. For a mix, for a blend of wine, they're awesome. And then when I'm really desperate, I'll move on to the Douro, which is like
that's Nunu's part of the country, isn't it, Lamego? So I think you'll be fine.
We've got a friend that runs a vineyard there, and I just think it's incredible how much work you put into it for the reward you get. It's a bit like farming in general. We do for fun because we love doing it. But profitability wise, if it wasn't for the EU, we'd be completely knackered, and so would most people farming, because most people realise that. Well, most countries realise that you have to subsidise food. The UK doesn't, obviously, but most other countries do. Therefore, I don't think most of the farms around here would exist without EU subsidies, to be honest. So it's one of those ones where
just about pays for all the work we do.
Yeah, and
make much out of it.
We couldn't possibly live on just the subsidies and the wine we have, but it does make you realise how much effort goes into all the wines that we're having today. And I suppose we should just appreciate the fact that we're in a country with amazing wine varieties, partly because of Salazar not importing loads of grapes, but also because people have still bothered to farm the way they have done for centuries.
Isn't it amazing that what we're enjoying is the hybrid of the Salazar legacy and the EU super state subsidy thing? Whatever people feel about those things politically, it's the truth, isn't it? That what we have in our hands tonight is the result of that relationship, or that hybrid, or that evolution.
Just two extremes.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Incredible. Yeah, good points. And it would be so fascinating to really understand the true cost of food, because we don't know, do we? And I think a lot of people aren't making decisions based on really knowing what goes into food and what it really costs, and what the subsidies have done to farming and how it exists in our sort of fragile economies, really.
Well, I mean, Gary was saying the other day, how can you, our olive oil, we worked it out for this year that it costs us about €11 a litre to harvest the olive oil. And that's with a whole load of machines and a load of stuff that most Portuguese farmers can't afford. And then to think about like how much it's sold for, and the fact that you can pick up fairly decent extra virgin olive oil for €5-6 is is unbelievable. Really, it doesn't really make sense, you know.
It doesn't. That's a fragile and precarious situation to be in, isn't it? And that's just the cost, is it? That doesn't factor in any time. That's just the material cost to you.
That's it. It's just the cost of what it costs us to produce, and
it takes a long time.
And we have got 200 litres of it sitting downstairs, so you lot will have to come along.
That is true wealth. So I mean, on another level, that's true wealth, isn't it? That is real. That's something real.
Well, what's weird, like the other day, Diane's got a vertigo.
Okay, vertigo.
And we use the olive oil to treat it, which is brilliant. So it's really nice
in the old-fashioned English way. Did you put it in your ear?
Well, that was the only way you could get olive oil. Do you remember? The only way you could get extra virgin olive oil was from a chemist.
It was a medicine. It was a medicine. So only ill people and aristocrats went to the chemist for olive oil, didn't they? I'm making a salad dressing. Do you have any olive oil?
In your ear?
Yes.
Is it
the olive oil? Wax in your ear, yeah.
It's the crystals that go into the wrong part of the canal, and it puts your balance off. So you're just like spinning the room.
Oh, I've had vertigo. Yes.
Yeah, but if you put olive oil in your ears, it loosens the wax. It's really good.
I wish I'd have known.
Yeah.
Is it the olive oil or is it
makes a lovely salad dressing. Right. A bit of salt and pepper. Right. Johnny, I don't think we saw your label for a second time. Would you mind just holding that up again? Your contribution this evening. There we go. Rosario, Reserva, and the other.
It's definitely
backwards.
A brace of Rosarios. No, we can see that. All good here. Yin and yang.
A little blush to his cheeks, hasn't it? A little bit of
Definitely. Beautiful.
Yes, it does.
Especially Mike and Cat. Blimey.
Yeah, I don't need to breathalyze. I just cheekalize. Yes.
Could you come with me, please, sir?
By the way, so yes, I have had the white label since I went through the Reserva. The Reserva is worth the extra 80 cents.
Well,
you see how they can keep wine for a year in a barrel for 80 cents is beyond me.
Isn't it? Isn't it incredible?
Yeah.
They must make a lot of it. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Just quickly to answer that question before we go to the Whitbys to conclude this evening. How many of you from the United Kingdom, if you could hold your
hands up.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why, OLP? Why is that? Right. Kazza Whitby. Wales. Is that the universal sign for Wales?
I'm Canadian, and I lived in Oregon, so there you go.
And you lived in Washington, didn't you? Or you visited?
And Oregon.
Yep.
So we could tell OLP that the two of us are from the Pacific Northwest.
There we go.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting balance, isn't it? And birds of feathers flocking together there.
And I probably lived 50 miles from OLP before I moved here.
Very good. Very good.
In American terms, it's very close, isn't it? In American terms, that's just next door, really.
It is. It is.
Oh, yeah. I used to drive 48,000 kilometers a year. So, yeah, that's just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, just pop over there and get some olive oil. Look at that. Yes, in the ear, OLP. Until 1980, that's all we did with olive oil. It was medicinal. Nobody knew. We used to put beef dripping on salad before that. Right. Miguelino and Cat. And then we throw the salad out. You put salad cream on, throw the salad out, and just dab bread in the salad cream. That's how we rolled in. That's why we're all so healthy. Miguelino and Cat, could you show your labels one more time, please?
Oh, can you ask a lady to do that?
Show me your labels. Labels. I didn't mean to say that. I honestly did.
Yeah. So, Carl, are you going to post pictures of the labials later?
Yes. You know what? There might be a full spread. I'm sure.
He's already seen it.
The line, well under it.
It is. Make sure you put that staple. Right. Okay.
This is the other one we had the other night, which is also excellent.
Right. There you go.
The Collietta, single
That's great. That is really very good, isn't it? For less than €3.
Yeah.
Well, and
And
2021 as well. The fact that it's had a chance to age with Touriga Nacional is really important. It's lovely.
These two are both $2.99, and that's their regular price.
Yeah,
it's awesome, isn't it?
Before we go away from this, I got two questions. One is a statement. We were talking about supermarkets. Actually, about every 2 weeks we go to Continent in Coimbra, because there's a bunch of stuff we can get there that we just can't get here. And when we were there the last time doing the Contemporal purchasing, we bought a bottle of their Espumante, or their sparkling wine. They have two. One of them is about $2.99 and the other is $4.99. The one for $4.99 is made with Barga, and it's absolutely stunning. And it's the one in the black label. It's as good as anything. We've got an Alianza Barga champagne, which is great. And we had the champagne tasting last year, and it's everybody's favorite. The one that they are selling for $5 something is just
$4.99.
$4.99. It's awesome.
There's your New Year's wine buying tip.
Yeah, it's absolutely
great.
excellent.
Thank you for that, Johnny.
Speaking of black label,
back to Johnny in a moment. Go on, Michael, before he forgets.
So Pete said that you can get a decent olive oil for €5. You meant a half a litre, did you?
Oh no, a litre. Nowadays, the price in Spain, it's come down again. So the average price in Spain is something like €4.50 if you're going directly from the suppliers per litre. But I must admit, I mean, we do single press, cold press. I could half the price of my olive oil if I went for a communal press that was hot and they were the temperature.
Right.
So it depends on the quality that you want to get, definitely. And also, obviously, the acidity. So whether it's extra virgin depends on whether it's less than 0.8% acidity. So therefore, you have to kind of check that as well. But you can sell extra virgin olive oil in a supermarket if you have 15% of what we produce.
No, I thought it was, I read 19.
Yeah. We need to do an olive oil special, don't we? I'd love to do an olive oil
with wine, definitely with a wine, with a wine, bread, and some balsamic. Sounds great.
Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do an olive oil special. Obviously, have wine as part of it, but to taste olive oil properly would be.
Well, you have to come here. Definitely, we've got enough.
Bring your own ear.
Bring your own cheesy people.
What are you going to add from Black Labels?
It does work. It's really good.
It's loosened the wax and the crystals, and it's cleared it.
It's just because we have to go to get to our supermarket. We have to go up a mountain and down it, and I think it's all the air pressure in her ears from going up and down mountains.
You need to hand out some peanuts or sweets when you're making the ascent.
You have to chew gum.
Those boiled sweets I always remember going on a cheap flight. I went Bangladesh B-Man once, and they didn't bother with the cabin pressure. They just gave you a boiled sweet on the way up and the way down.
Very good. There you go. That's what we do in Central Portugal as well. Black Labels, Johnny.
Cool.
Yes. The only, I think at Miguelito, you had the EA wine with the eyelashes. The only one I've been able to bump across as of late, my explorations, is the blue label. I'm holding out for the black label. And so where did you find this? Where did you source it?
Continent.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is it's the farthest one, but I'll make the track.
No, but I have to, Johnny, when we were last in Continent, I was looking for it, and they only have the blue one.
That's what they have at the Lidl, which is the closest one to me. So I'll keep looking, holding out for black.
Very good. All right. If you see that, get it for Johnny. Miguelino and Kat, anything else that you want to share with us? Other dreams for 25 as well?
Well, we have a suggestion. I don't know if have you done Baga wine?
Yeah. Well, we over the course of these few years, and we've had the Godfather of Baga. We've had what's his name? I've forgotten his name now.
Luis Pato.
Oh, that was fun.
He came on. That was a 3-hour special, and nobody else got to speak. It was amazing. It was quite incredible. Okay. No, go on. We'd love to revisit.
We just we live in the Bairrada area, and we wanted to get to know Baga a bit better. So we seeked some out, and especially when we were up at the Cheese Awards, there was a number of Bairrada wineries represented, so we could bend their ears and taste their wares, as it were.
Very
Ears
good.
and ears. Ears, yeah.
Well, I'd love to do that and maybe mix my next year aspiration with yours. Have you been to the Alianza Underground Museum yet?
No.
It's where they make the champagne you're talking about, or they use the champagne method on the Bugger grapes.
Yeah,
and they hand turn it. And
it's called riddling, Cole, if you want to know. Yeah.
What's it called?
Riddling. So
riddling.
Well,
Yeah, we used to make wine, and Michael made a sparkling wines too. So we were riddling in our previous life. You get big wrists when you're a riddler.
Well, who doesn't like a hand riddling first thing in the morning? Definitely.
Yeah. And can I smell your hands?
That's from my cheese making days.
Very good. Oh, there's a Luis Pato. There he is, the Maverick. Right there.
Yes, that's right. Oh yeah, I know why you didn't get an edge in word-wise, as they say.
You know what? He like anything with a red label, he said, sells really well in China. So he does that on purpose.
And that's a big market. Yeah.
The thing about Baga wine is they make a sparkling wine with it too, not just it's a kind of an interesting grape.
It really is, and that will be my suggestion. Sorry, when you finish, I
just had it in my head to think about that.
Miguelino, anything else from you this year, next year?
I think Baga needs to get somebody else who can sort of make their wine labels.
And how did that
go at the marketing place for the entire Bairrada region
in the railway station?
And she said to us with a straight face what this means. It means chalk, like chalky,
Yes, of course, that's right. Yes.
Okay, so that's someone's hands that I don't.
I think we should come up with our own Portuguese knife wine. Would be good. I think that sounds great. Definitely.
Yes. Knives and chalk.
You could definitely get the plural of knives on that, couldn't you? Definitely.
Yes, Johnny, go on.
I have yet to nominate a theme, but I'm also new, so I don't know it's been covered in the past. And it's been touched on during this episode, and it's not hands. It is boxed wine.
I can't believe you said that. I was going to bring that one up.
It's time to revisit. Yes.
I figured you'd done it if you're doing it every week.
Well,
we had the box of wine every
Gary,
month.
You've got to do an enema
box
again.
Of Piesh. Box of Piesh. Go on, Gary.
We did a box wine. Only one because of the dangers of box wines. I think previously explained. Which one was it? I can't remember. It was the
Piesh, wasn't it? Wasn't it the Piesh?
Yeah, so Piesh with the big straw. But yeah, I mean, we could always do another box wine if you find a good one.
If you drink too much box wine, that's what happens to you. When you drink too much boxed wine, that is a visual representation.
You'll become compressed.
Yeah. And Gary, I bought something especially for you as well that I'm going to have to show you in a minute. I'll show you probably after we finish. But
this is
something I want to come and visit you with. So I'm going to have to come.
I'm getting scared now.
We're heading to the after party now. If anyone watching wants to join us for that, it's not broadcast, but you can join us on that because I need to vacate the studio here. But I'm really delighted to say I'm leaving it for Mrs. M, who's hard at work at most hours of the night and day at the moment. And I've left the aroma of a soft cheese in the studio for her. So she'll love that when she comes in. The radiator's been on as well. It's boozy. It's cheesy. She's going to want to smell my hands later, obviously. I just want to add as a final. Sorry, Johnny, go on.
So box wine's been done, but maybe something that hasn't been done, again, touched on tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe we can consider sometime this year we do a broadcast. We're all at Pete and Dice.
Yeah.
I think that's the invitation. Sounds good. We've got the outside.
And I have the farthest to travel, and I'm willing to do it.
All right, the gauntlet has been the Algarvian gauntlet has been thrown down. Gary,
I have a message for John, right? Because I know he's no Melinda buddy, but they don't only do wine.
Get a room.
They also do olive oil.
Let me.
Olive
What's
oil.
that? Olive oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. When you've got a bigger estate, you've got to think about that as well, haven't you?
And it's
Well-
we haven't opened this yet, so I can't tell you because
We did it on the wine tasting though. We
Do
tried.
they call it
the
Ear
olive oil
Melinda?
too.
it's nice.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is there
Ear
olive
Melinda.
oil called Ear Melinda? That's what they should. They've missed a trick there. Ear
Ear
Melinda.
and Melinda.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But, okay, we'll take that. That I think because we're going into January. January has Blue Monday. People have spent a lot of money at Christmas, possibly. It's the toughest month of the year. Let's go to Good Value. What's happening to Pete? Is he ascending?
Yes.
I've got
He's in an 80s video.
I've got a UV light, and I've promised to go through Gary's.
Oh yeah.
bag
Let's go. Let's get in the man cave.
Oh
That
no!
wouldn't be her.
Don't do that. Why have you got a UV light, Peter?
We'll tell
My
you later.
man cave is going to look like a painter's radio.
The painter's radio. Right. My final invitation. Then, just holding this up again. It's a great wine, and if you can, I mean, normally $5.99. Got it for $2.99. Intermarché special. Thoroughly recommend that. Really enjoyed that tonight. Flawless. Even at $5.99, but at $2.99, it's an absolute bargain. And picking up on your invitation and your exploration, Cap, in the Baga area, Bairrada, let's go to the Aliança Underground Museum. That's one of Aliança's premises, if you like. And Sangalhos is a really unassuming town that you would drive through in central Portugal. I guess it's kind of between Coimbra and Aveiro, inland in the interior. You drive through Sangalhos, you think nothing of it really. Apart from a doorway, which is Aliança's Underground Museum. You go down underground, obviously, into the cellars where they make the fizz. And it's like Indiana Jones has put all his stuff that he collected from around the world in a museum. There's all sorts of bits from, it's like the British Museum, things borrowed and taken care of in another country. It's, shrunken heads, I think Fabergé, eggs, Lalique, glass, all of these incredible sort of historical, cultural icons in one place. Really good show of Portuguese pottery in there. It's incredible. And it's, I guess it's what rich people of 100 years ago, 150 years ago used to do, right? They made loads of money. Then they start buying things from around the world and buying things that other people can't buy. And then you've got to put them somewhere. And Aliança Underground Museum is one of those places. And you get to taste the wine.
Oh,
and I remember going there.
So
I took my children there while Mrs. M was working one day. They thought I was a widower because I was a man out with his own three children. And they got me drunk, or they were trying to get me drunk. I was going to drive the kids home, and they're trying to cheer. What a wonderful man taking his children out for the day to a wine museum.
Bless him. Lovely man.
It was
Lovely.
great. I can't think of a better place to go with you than with you lot, to this wonderful place to see all the artifacts, to see how the wine's made. And you have no idea from upstairs. It's a TARDIS. It's unassuming upstairs. It's typically Portuguese. All the glory and wonderful spectacle of it is hidden from plain sight outside. You never
Do you
know.
love that though, Carl?
Let's go there. Go on, Gary.
Do you know the other place I'd love to go to, Carl, which you kind of put me onto, the Borsago Palace?
Oh, yes. It's the same neck of the woods.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a great weekend, wouldn't it?
And the Korean Palace.
You're all fitting into my theme of leaving the Algarve many times a year.
Very good.
There's so many things that aren't advertised in Portugal. That's what gets me, is that most of the things, literally, you should know is what their opinion. So Gary's got an amazing bike museum in Alvarez, right? Really good with some fantastic like bikes from all over the place. We've got a fantastic taxidermy museum with terribly stuffed animals, which I love. Anything like that, I really enjoy. And now I'm on the Festa committee. You lot have got to come along to one of our Festa, our big Festa do's, definitely, because I think you'll really enjoy it.
We've had Halloween, we've had Fado.
We've got
New Year's Eve coming up.
And we've got Valentine's Day and a load of other stuff coming up. But you'll have to come along to one of the Festa things. And apart from anything else, it'll make my cred go up in the village. So I need you.
That would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
And
a taxidermy museum.
Just saying, Pete, I'm just saying, if I come there and spend time in your village, you may suffer.
No, I'm sure I won't.
Your credibility.
About that.
I'm going to sit there. I'm going to sit there and say, of course, you isn't my background, don't you?
You know he's got 3 nipples. You know he's got 3 nipples under that Chinese kimono thing he wears. Right. Yes, just finally then, taxidermy museum. It used to remind me of, or it does remind me of a joke my stepfather used to tell me, who put me off red wine for years, my stepfather. Coming to Portugal has reintroduced me to it. And he would tell me this joke about a man who took his 2 pet monkeys to the taxidermist after they passed away so that he could keep them forever in his front room. And the taxidermist looked at him, with compassion and understanding and said, "Would you like them mounted?" And he said, "I think just holding hands will be fine." Have a great evening. Take care. Bye for now.